In an era marked by heightened demands for transparency and fiscal accountability, fresh revelations concerning government mismanagement have ignited a debate over the systemic inefficiencies plaguing federal agencies. The intricate tapestry of computerized bureaucracy that underpins government operations is now under intense scrutiny, as investigative analyses reveal a staggering level of waste and potential fraud that, if addressed, could free up resources amounting to over $1 trillion. This report delves into the multifaceted layers of government mismanagement, from obsolete digital systems to unchecked financial practices, shedding light on an issue that has far-reaching implications for taxpayers and the future of American governance. At the heart of the investigation lies a fundamental observation: the machinery of government is run by computers. Every executive order, every bureaucratic decision ultimately passes through a labyrinthine network of digital databases and automated processes. While this technological infrastructure was once celebrated for its promise of efficiency, it has instead become a breeding ground for inefficiencies and errors. One might imagine a room where every wall, floor, and ceiling is marked as a potential target for wasteful spending. In such an environment, any measure to cut costs seems almost arbitrary. Every system is so riddled with redundancies that pinpointing inefficiencies can feel akin to shooting in a room where every surface is vulnerable. One of the most revealing findings of the investigation is the misuse of government resources in the realm of software and media. In every federal department examined, there exists a profusion of software licenses and media subscriptions that far exceed practical needs. The numbers are so disproportionate that, in many instances, there are more licenses than there are staff members. More striking still, these subscriptions are often entirely dormant, purchased in bulk with taxpayer dollars, yet rarely, if ever, accessed. This revelation is emblematic of a broader trend of fiscal indiscipline. Resources are allocated without the requisite scrutiny or follow-up, leading to chronic waste. Parallel to the surplus in digital subscriptions is an equally alarming trend in the misuse of government credit cards. Investigators uncovered that the number of credit cards issued within federal agencies far surpasses the number of personnel. With many of these cards carrying limits as high as $10,000, the financial exposure is substantial. The redundancy in credit card issuance not only raises questions about internal controls but also provides a fertile ground for potential fraud. In some cases, transactions occur without proper documentation or payment codes, leaving officials to piece together the purpose of these expenditures long after the fact. This systematic disarray underscores a disturbing pattern of negligence that extends across multiple government entities. Another dimension of the problem is found in the manner in which government funds are disbursed to private entities, particularly nonprofits. Contracts and payments to these organizations have, in several instances, been executed with minimal oversight. In one illustrative case, a nonprofit organization was allowed to function with scant regulation, receiving nearly $1.9 billion in funding without subsequent audits or accountability measures. The nonprofit in question allocated funds to extravagant salaries, extensive travel, and even luxury purchases such as jets and homes. The lack of checks and balances in these transactions points to a deeper, systemic failure, a confluence of bureaucratic complacency and a fragmented oversight mechanism that allows such financial extravagance to persist unchecked. The investigation further highlights the inherent difficulties in reconciling the myriad digital databases that track federal spending. The complex nature of electronic money flows, channeled through systems like the Automated Clearinghouse and the SWIFT network, means that every transaction leaves a digital trace. However, the sheer volume of data and the layers of administrative handling make it nearly impossible to trace waste and fraud without modern, sophisticated data analytics. Traditional methods, reliant on human interpretation and manual inquiry, simply cannot cope with the scale and intricacy of modern fiscal systems. As a result, a new approach, one that entails a thorough reprogramming of the governmental digital infrastructure, has become imperative. Only by analyzing the data directly and transparently can authorities hope to untangle the convoluted web of transactions that has allowed waste to proliferate. Political dynamics add another layer of complexity to this issue. The investigation reveals that the majority of questionable payments and mismanaged contracts appear to be concentrated in agencies with strong partisan leanings. Critics argue that these inefficiencies are not merely the product of bureaucratic oversight but may also serve as a deliberate mechanism to funnel funds in ways that benefit certain political constituencies. Allegations have emerged suggesting that by manipulating entitlement programs and leveraging fraud, certain political groups have been able to secure the support of millions of new constituents who rely on government handouts. These allegations, while contentious, underscore a troubling interplay between fiscal mismanagement and political strategy, a dynamic that could have profound implications for the electoral landscape and the future direction of public policy. Looking beyond the immediate concerns of government spending, the report also explores a visionary outlook on the future of technology and its potential to redefine the parameters of economic efficiency. Proponents of advanced automation and artificial intelligence predict a near future where AI systems not only surpass human cognitive capabilities but also become the backbone of economic production. Estimates suggest that within a decade, a significant portion of daily activities, such as autonomous transportation, will be driven by AI, radically transforming the way goods and services are produced and consumed. In this new paradigm, the cost of production could plummet, rendering many traditional business models obsolete. However, the promise of AI comes with its own set of strategic challenges. The global race to dominate the field of AI, particularly in the manufacturing of essential components like AI chips, has already ignited a fierce competition between economic powerhouses. Control over AI chip production is emerging as a critical factor that will determine future economic and technological supremacy. If the balance of power shifts in favor of nations with advanced chip manufacturing capabilities, the implications for global leadership and economic stability could be enormous. In this context, the current debate over government waste takes on an even more significant dimension. The need for efficiency and innovation within government operations is not just about fiscal responsibility, it is also about positioning the nation competitively in an increasingly automated world. The challenges outlined in this report are vast, but so too are the opportunities for reform. By addressing systemic inefficiencies and embracing modern data analytics, government officials have the potential to reclaim billions of dollars currently lost to waste and fraud. The process will undoubtedly be complex, requiring a fundamental shift in how government agencies operate and how financial oversight is conducted. Yet the rewards, a more accountable government, a more efficient allocation of resources, and a bolstered economic future, are well worth the effort. As this investigation draws to a close, it is clear that the issues of waste and fraud are not isolated incidents but symptomatic of a broader malaise affecting federal operations. The digital infrastructure that underpins the government, while designed for efficiency, has become a labyrinth of redundant systems and opaque transactions. Only by embracing technological reform and modernizing oversight mechanisms can these challenges be effectively addressed. Moreover, the political implications of these fiscal inefficiencies cannot be ignored. In an era where every dollar counts, ensuring that government spending is transparent and accountable is not merely a matter of good governance, it is a fundamental requirement for sustaining public trust. In conclusion, the investigative findings presented here paint a stark picture of a system in desperate need of reform. The rampant misuse of resources, from redundant software licenses to mismanaged credit card expenditures and lax oversight of nonprofit contracts, signals a deep-seated problem that has persisted for far too long. As the nation stands on the brink of an era defined by rapid technological advancement and global economic shifts, the call for accountability has never been more urgent. The challenge before policymakers is to harness the power of modern technology to dismantle entrenched inefficiencies, thereby restoring confidence in the mechanisms of public administration. Only through such comprehensive reform can the promise of an efficient, transparent, and truly accountable government be realized, ensuring that every taxpayer dollar is put to its rightful use in the service of the nation's future.